Thanks. Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to another Brighton and Hove Hope Exchange. So my name's Adam, and I'm from something called Ambigo. Now, what we do is we bring people together to exchange support for their personal goals, ideas, and ambitions. Today, it's a bit different because we're really lucky to be partnering with Forward Facing. Now, they're an incredible charity, and we'll be hearing all about them from their core member. They're the person who runs the whole thing at the moment, Candice, who is a wonderful person who we've really enjoyed organising this event for. The basic gist is that today several members of the Forward Facing family will be expressing their goals, their ideas or their ambitions, and then it will be thrown over to you and we'll be saying, is there any kind of information, contacts, advice that you could offer to them to help make their thing a reality? Okay, so we've been doing this since the start of lockdown, so for the past 5 months or so, and it's been a lot of fun. People have been really supported, their confidence has been boosted, and people have been genuinely helped a bit closer to what it is that they want to do. So that's what we plan on doing again this evening. But I'm not alone. Over in 5 Ways is Andy, who is in front of the Wall of Ambitions. Good evening, Andy.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Adam, as well. Would you like me to tell everybody
what is the Wall of Ambitions?
That's exactly what I'd love to do. Few things would give me greater pleasure than to tell you about the Ambigo Wall of Ambition, this time featuring a lovely logo from Forward Facing. It's nice to match up with you guys. The Wall of Ambition normally travels around with us. It stands 7.5 foot or so tall. It's wider than I can reach, and it normally goes out to loiter and hang around on street corners, things like Kemp Town Carnival, East Park, outside the Co-op in Hankerton, things like that. And our role, what we intend to do, is invite people to fill in something we call an ambition calling card. And it's a little piece of paper that you can write down a dream, a wish, a task, a project, an ambition that you'd like to do, partly to share, but also partly to see whether there's any help that could come in for you. And what we do is we get people to put these up on the wall and we just leave it there. With the help of fantastic people, often the Co-op, we have nibbles, cupcakes, stuff like that, and we just gently draw people in to browse and read at their own pace. And maybe, if they feel so inspired, to grab a post-it note. And one of, or many, of our wonderful coloured pens, there we go, I'll pick them up in a bit, and write down some comments, maybe a few words of encouragement, some tips and advice, which are brilliant. If someone is asking for something, then if you have a contact, I know someone who can actually do that. That's fabulous. And my personal favorite, those people who say, that's such a lovely idea. Can I come too? Can I do it as well? I want to go to Portugal and find a safe way to get back as well. That'd be fabulous. Travel companions and so on. That's where the new friendships start. So this is the wall, normally hanging out on street corners. And as you know, sadly, we can't do that. And gotta admit, I really miss that because I've met some fabulous people. We've had some quiet, gentle conversations, and you know, we've sort of had a good nose on other people's ambitions and so on. We have to do that now through the internet. So we're hanging around on your virtual street corner. Come and join us. really, that's what this is about. Adam, I'm going to throw it back to you to take us to wherever it is you're going to take us.
Yeah, well, in a sec, we'll have a quick word with Candice before going to our first participant, who's called Tasha, who's ready and waiting, which is lovely. Thank you for being there. So just wanted to say, just drop us a comment underneath the Facebook video to let us know where you are and where you're watching and how you're feeling and anything you want to say, because what we can do is we can share it with people on the screen. So yeah, please do that. But let's bring in Candice, who is right here. Hi, Candice.
Oh, hi, Adam.
Hello. We're going to be speaking to you a lot later on because we're going to be hearing about your own goals and the goals regarding forward facing as well. But please do tell us, who is forward facing? What's it all about?
So Forward Facing is a wonderful charity. We're very unique in the way that we do things. We're a very small charity. We support children and families living with life-limiting illnesses, disabilities, and also families suffering bereavement. We support the whole family, so the siblings as well. We've even got grandparents, carers. We do events to make memories. We think out of the box. So we do we do trips to the park, trips to the zoo, trips to the farm. We do, through lockdown, we've been doing, we haven't stopped. So basically, we thought, okay, let's do something. So we did delivered hampers to Burgess Hill, Haywards Heath, Worthing, Dorrington, Eastbourne. We went all over, but we did it with a hula hooping lady. So she basically, we delivered the hamper to the doorstep. We all stepped back, obviously, and then in the street, the hula hooper did a little show for the families, which was, everyone was in lockdown, so it was magical for them. So yeah, we're thinking out the box in this.
Yeah, it really sounds like it. It sounds like everything that Forward Facing does is a lot of fun. So really looking forward to hearing more about it a bit later on. Thank you, Candice. We'll come back to you shortly. But let's go to our first participant now, who is, well, we've got two. It's not just Tasha, but who else have we got? Hello.
Who are you?
Hello, my name's Seb.
Seb?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, we're really glad to have you both here. You're our first participants for this evening. And so what it's all about is people sharing what their goals are, or their ideas, or their ambitions. And we're going to ask the people watching if there's any support that they can give. So, Tasha, please explain, what is your goal that you've come with this evening?
Okay, so our main goal, and it's perfect for September, because it's our go gold for childhood cancer awareness. So we want to raise as much awareness for childhood cancer as we can, because Seb here had cancer as a young child at 18 months old. And so we're trying to spread the word about childhood cancer and the symptoms, aware, and just make people aware of it can happen, and it can happen to anyone. How we link to forward facing is when Seb was going through treatment, Candice was amazing, and she gave us so many lovely memory making days and memories, because we didn't know Seb was going to survive or not. So for us, they were like really, really valued memories. We possibly could have been our last. So that's how we linked to forward facing. I then ended up being a trustee last year. So last year I became a trustee for the charity. And then, just from there, me and Candice are trying to grow the charity, make people aware of what we do, and literally how amazingly special it is for families like ours that you don't know how much time you've got left with your child.
Well, first of all, how are you feeling now, Seb?
How are you feeling?
Good.
Thumbs up?
So you're feeling good, you're feeling healthy, you're feeling strong? And so how much of a help was that Forward Facing were there for you?
Massive, really. It's nice to know that there's people out there when you're in your darkest of times that you don't want to always go to family members because they're going through it with you. So to have someone, I didn't know Candice that well then, obviously, I just got introduced to her. So to have Forward Facing there for us was just a godsend, because it's just someone different to talk to that doesn't have that emotional attachment almost, but does care so much. So yeah, it really helped.
So tell us a bit more about the campaign. What was it called again?
Okay, so we're trying to turn all the towns gold. So the idea would be to turn the whole country gold. It's a worldwide thing. Sydney Harbour Bridge go gold, Big Ben goes gold. So it's all over the world, but it's so unheard of. So in Burgess Hill, where we live, do you want to go? Yeah. In Burgess Hill, where we live, we've turned all sorts gold. So the shop windows have put gold displays in them, especially Wilkinson's and some of the ones like that. We've also, are you going? Go on then, say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Seb.
Bye.
Go on then. Yeah, so we put gold bikes around the town that we spray painted gold. We've put up, the companies have sponsored ribbons that we've made and put around the lampposts and the parks in town. So it's really just trying to put as much gold all over the place. So our neighbouring towns, Hove and Hassocks, have also done it. We were inspired by Hassocks, who did it last year, so we've nicked their idea really. But they were amazing. The whole village went gold. So we've tried to go gold, which everyone's got on board with. And Hove are also going gold. We're all oncology mummies, so we're all mummies of children that have had cancer that are arranging it. But it's been amazing just getting the support from the local community. But we'd love for it to go all over Brighton, everywhere, and just like the rainbows did. The rainbows went mad everywhere. Gold ribbons would be amazing for September.
This takes us to how can people help you with this goal?
Okay, so we were asking local shops and everything to put gold in their windows. So some of the charity shops have put clothes that are gold in their windows. Others have put ribbons. A shop called Pee-wee's, which is a hairdresser's, has gone balloons, gold balloons, literally everywhere. So like doing that would be amazing. You can also sponsor, we've done sponsored ribbons, so you can sponsor a ribbon and have your logo on it for £50, which goes towards the cancer charities and forward facing. So the cancer charities we're doing are Click Sergeant and Children with Cancer UK, but there's a various amount you can raise for. Also forward facing obviously as well. Yeah, so those sort of things. We've asked people to hold fundraisers. Obviously this year it's been really restricted because of COVID, but we were hoping to do a big fun run where all the local children could do a fun run. We wanted to do a fair day where we could just, like on the village green, just do a big fair thing. But even like local schools and shops and things can get involved by doing like dress gold for the day and pay £1. There's so many, like gold cake sale and just make cakes, and there's so many different ideas you can do to raise awareness and funds. Yeah, so anything like that would be amazing.
But just to demonstrate here, quick comment from Candice with a big heart for you and Seb. Thank you, Candice. And if you also want to contribute, you also want to share your thoughts, ideas, support with Tasha and with anybody else who's to come, then just leave a message underneath the Facebook video. So is that something else that you could, that people could help with, in that they could come up with new ideas for how we can paint the place gold?
We're up for anything, literally anything that promotes childhood cancer and the gold ribbon during the month of September would just be fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's millions of ideas that people could have that I haven't thought of. That all the like local towns around Brighton and Sussex could, just put gold all over the place. Like we've got gold ribbons around lampposts, trees, but I'm sure there's loads of other things that people can do.
So you've obviously had your own personal experience, and that's the motivation behind the campaign. I wonder how important it is for you that more awareness is raised, that not only are we doing something fun and something that captures attention, but actually the point is rammed home as well, and people are actually understanding the issue more.
Yeah, so it's mainly the Go Gold is around identifying the symptoms of childhood cancer. So Seb took a good month and a half, 2 months to diagnose his cancer from when he first got ill, because people aren't looking for it. you know, he had cancer in his bladder and prostate, and for months we thought he was constipated, or he, you know, we thought it was he couldn't go to the toilet properly. We didn't once think, oh my God, he's got cancer. You know, it just doesn't cross your mind. At the time, I don't think I even realised children got cancer. I was just like so naive to it all. So yeah, it's just raising awareness of the signs and symptoms and like things to look for, like paleness, you know, lethargic, those sort of things that actually quite a few children display anyway. So it's just that sort of thing, just and to make professionals more aware of childhood cancer. So Seb's case is used as studies around Brighton and around the local area for doctors and things, just because it is rare, but it is out there.
Well, what a great thing you're doing. And just a very, very quick comment for Khan who's watching. He just says, nice. But he likes the idea too. Thanks, Khan. Lovely. Right, I'm going to hand you over to Andy now. So he's been writing down your ambition. He's been summing it all up, and we'll see what he's got written down for you.
Oh, thanks.
Hi, Tasha.
Hiya.
Hi, I'm the disembodied voice, the mysterious
Oh, I can't hear you.
voice
Hello. I can't hear you properly.
that hangs around this somewhat awfully scribbled piece of paper. Apologies. I have to kind of write as fast as I can, as well as kind of. Oh dear. Okay. What I'm
I can't hear you.
just saying is.
I'm going to hop back in. So, Andy, you know, I'm the one who always has the internet problems, Tasha. But for once, it sounds
Lovely
like
to
it's
have
Andy
you
this time.
with us.
So,
My role.
Andy, we can't hear you, so I'm going to put you on mute for now, just so I can explain to Tasha. So, Andy, his role is to try and summarise what it is and make sure that he has captured accurately what it is you'd like to do and what you'd need help with. So we can see here he's got written down that you want to raise awareness about childhood cancer as much as possible by turning the whole world gold, decorating shops and public places. So, as the goals summarised, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Lovely. And what you need help with, please help us connect with, not sure what that says. Do you know what that says? And ask, I think that might be, connect with and ask local organisations to go gold. Please sponsor a ribbon, which can be branded. And please help us fundraise with your local something. Well, I think we've done pretty well there. Trying to read Andy's writing. Yeah. Andy, I'm going to unmute your mic to see if you're back now. Are you back?
Hello?
No. That's a shame. No. So anyway, so I just wonder, what he always likes to ask, and it's a very good question, is as we've been talking, as we've been looking at the ambition sheet there, is there anything new that's cropped up for you that you want to make sure that you get out there to the universe?
No, that's mainly it. It's just, just turning it as gold as we can. It's only for the month of September. I don't know if that's written down anywhere. Because that's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So only for the month of September. And if somebody does want to get involved and do something, where should they go? Who should they contact?
So we've got a Turn Burgess Hill Gold Facebook page. So you can look on there, or you can email me at natasha@forwardfacing.co.uk. And also.
So would you like me to put that as a? Sorry, Tasha. Would you like me to put that as a comment so people can actually see that email address?
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Natasha@forwardfacing.co.uk.
Yeah, that would be great. And then you've got the Turn Burgess Hill Gold Facebook page. Oh, you're quick at typing. Yeah, so that's sort of my main email that people can contact me on to get any more information, and I can send them posters and things that we've designed for windows, shop windows and things, if anyone's interested in joining this year. But the main aim would be for next year to get it as big as possible, really.
Yeah, it already sounds as if it's really big. So unfortunately, Andy has had to drop out and try and fix his internet. So hopefully he'll be back with us in a bit. But I just wondered if you could share with us and for everybody watching, what have been some of the biggest highlights of the last few years since Seb managed to come through what he was going through?
So you're going to make me cry now. So ringing the bell at the end of treatment, that was a biggie, because we didn't know.
Explain to us, for those who aren't sure what that means, tell us what that's about.
Any child fighting cancer at the end of treatment gets to ring a bell in the hospital, just to symbolise that they finished their treatment. So that was quite a biggie. Another big moment for us and Seb was the forward-facing memory-making day, where all the children go up to the Dome in Brighton and go on the stage, and they do a performance. I'm sure Candice will talk about it later, and then later on in the year, they watch themselves on the big screen in the cinema, and they all get a little Oscars award. So honestly, my heart was like in pieces. And they all watch themselves, and then that was quite a big moment. Other moments are just basic things like starting school, that we didn't know he was going to do. He learned to ride his bike over lockdown, which we didn't know whether he'd do because his muscles aren't that strong in his legs. So just basic things that people take for granted are massive things to us. So and even though COVID has been a nightmare for some people, the first time we were just so privileged to have that time with Seb. After we finished treatment, I had to go straight back to work, and I always said, I want 6 months with him just to enjoy him. And so we got it. So blame me for COVID. No, don't. But I felt really privileged to be able to have those 6 months at home with Seb and my partner Luke, obviously. So we've had some good times.
And many more to come, I'm sure. Yeah. How old is Seb now?
He's 6 now. So he was 18 months when he got diagnosed, and he's 6 now.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, way more to come, hopefully. Okay, so I'm just going to let everybody know who's watching, how they can get in touch. If you have got any kind of information, contacts, advice that could help Tasha in her campaign, then you can very simply leave a message as a comment underneath the Facebook video you're watching, or on YouTube if you're watching us there. Or you can click on the link that you'll see around the video somewhere, and it'll actually bring you into this broadcast arena, and we can have you on and you can talk to us yourselves. Or you can send a message on WhatsApp on the number that's about to scroll back across the bottom of your screen now. If you send a message to that, we'll pick it up and we'll be able to read it out. So the choice is yours. So just to let you know, Tasha, we have people watching live across all the different platforms, and we have many people who will be watching this after the fact. They'll be watching this in the week or maybe next week. And hopefully, if there's support out there, then they'll get in touch and we can pass it on to you. And we'll also write a social media post about you in the campaign as well, if you like, so we can spread the message further.
That'd be amazing. Thank you so much. That's really kind.
Lovely. Well, let's bring in Candice before you go, if that's okay with you, Candice. Yeah, I think she's ready. Hi, Candice. How was that for you to listen to?
It made me cry. He always does.
Oh, you always make me cry too.
In a nice way, we make each other cry.
Yeah. Well, it must be special to hear the impact that what you do has, right?
Oh, definitely. But Natasha now is with me, making these impacts with me. It's we do a lot of it together. So we're the fantastic team, along with our other trustees. We're all it's a lovely sort of feel to it because we all get on so well and we all can really support each other in everything that we do. So what Natasha's doing with Go Gold is fantastic. And if it could go into Brighton, Rottingdean, Ovingdean, anywhere, if somebody from each area just realised that just doing a little bit of work by making things gold, they've been painting bikes gold and and putting them around and things like that. And if just some people could do that in their areas, it raises so much awareness because people don't know about what's going on. They don't know about different types of cancer and childhood cancer. So I just think it's very important.
Absolutely.
And I'm very proud of Natasha for what she's doing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that. Go on, Natasha.
I was just going to say, you might not realise, but quite often in each town or village there is a child fighting cancer. So even if you don't know them personally, the likelihood is someone somewhere in your town or village potentially is suffering. So just to raise awareness is amazing.
Thank you so much for helping raise more awareness by coming on this evening, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Candice.
Cheers. Bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye, Candice. We'll come back to you in a bit. Okay, we've got our second participant there who's ready and waiting, and it is Danny. Hello, Danny.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being there. Let's go straight into it. Tell us what the goal, idea, or ambition is that you brought with you this evening.
Okie dokie. Well, I guess just first off is just a bit about me. I am also a trustee of Forward Facing, but that's not really why I'm here. I am here because I love the charity and what they do is amazing, and I completely support everything. But I'm here really to talk about a guy who can't be here tonight, who's doing some amazing work for Forward Facing in terms of trying to raise some funds and his involvement in it. So if I talk more about him, if that's okay, rather on his behalf rather than my involvement. So Luke Tyler is he owns a local company, a family-run business called Reptilers, which brings reptiles and animals and zoo creatures and things to any event, birthday parties, youth clubs, schools, education sessions, all of that stuff. And he was involved in one of our events. So he brought all his animals to a Forward Facing event, you know, to make a fun day out for some of our families. And from that, he really got Forward Facing and he understood what it was about and, you know, really understood what Candice was trying to do, what we're all trying to do, and, you know, what the value is to it. So from that, Luke and his family decided that Forward Facing was going to be like their charity of choice, you know, a local company, a local charity, which is great. And for the last couple of years, Luke has arranged a sponsored walk called Walking for Lives. And it's been great. He's, you know, done so well in the planning, got people involved, raised a huge amount of money for Forward Facing. It's called Walking for Lives. And the last one took place a few weeks back, and it's from Bognor Pier to Brighton Pier. So it's a long old way. It's 28 miles, which I didn't do it. I did make my other half do it, but I didn't do it. And I guess the aim is to make this bigger and better every single year and get more people involved, not only for sponsorship and things like that, but just for awareness, and also the fact that it's a really great day out and it's completely inclusive. It's, you know, it's families from everywhere can take part. So yeah, I guess really Luke's vision and our vision is to just make this an annual event and try and involve as many people as we can in it.
Brilliantly described. I'm sure he couldn't have actually explained all of that better himself. So just to remind everybody of where to go if they want to check this out, that's the web address for Reptilers. In fact, is there anything about the walk on that website, or is there somewhere else people might be able to go?
It's on the Forward Facing Facebook page. As well, and also I'm sure you can email Luke direct on the email address that's on the website for Reptilers, or you can email me directly at my Forward Facing email address, which is danielle@forwardfacing.co.uk. Yeah, for some more information about it, but we've already got a date for next year, so 25th of July.
25th of July, that's decided for next year. Wow.
It is, yeah, we're ready to go. I'm sure the people that did it this year haven't quite recovered.
Well, this is the thing. You said it was 28 miles. That's longer than a marathon.
It's a long old way, yeah. Yeah, but the great thing about it is that this year, obviously due to COVID and all of this sort of stuff, it was hard to arrange it. We couldn't do Luke couldn't do his normal build up to it because we weren't sure if it was even going to go ahead. But even in those circumstances, Luke managed to get it to go ahead. There was a fair few people doing it, but there was children that did it. And it's just a really fun day. Like my other half did it, and my mum said, oh, I'm just going to go and support Adam, my other half, for a couple of miles. 20 miles later, I was like, Mum, you've got to stop. You're going to regret this in the morning. But she carried on just because it was so much fun. And this year there was thunderstorms. There was, you know, it was the conditions were quite hard, but it was really good fun. And there were so many people doing it. And it would just be great to share that with lots of other people. And it's not a race. It's not competitive. It's just about a group of people doing something fun together for a brilliant charity. And next year's Luke vision is to make it even more inclusive for everybody. So there'd be the 28 miles, which is from Bognor to Brighton Pier, but then also for families or people that can't commit to that distance can also join and do from from Worthing Pier to Brighton Pier. And then for families with younger children or people with physical challenges or whoever can also do from King Alfred to Brighton Pier. But the lovely thing about it is that everybody will finish together, regardless if you've done 2.8 miles from King Alfred or if you've done 28 miles from Bognor. It's about everybody doing it together. Most of the route is wheelchair accessible, so anybody can take part, which is fantastic. And it's really, I mean, I didn't do it. I mean, I did drive the car with Candice, and we handed out water from the boot of our car, which was quite exhausting, I have to say.
Yeah, if you said that to them, I think they'd raise an eyebrow.
Yeah, I didn't say that to my other half.
Well, Danielle, Candice has already also said Danielle's partner Adam and Mum were absolutely brilliant on the last walk as well. So
we have all committed to next year as well, so we're all going to do it next year, and my daughter as well.
So you're going to actually do the walk?
Yeah, don't look so shocked.
No. I mean, because you're going to abdicate your current role, handing out the water in the car, and you've committed already to doing the walk. Good on you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so let's look a bit more at how people could actually help. So we know how they could get involved, but in terms of fulfilling this ambition of making it bigger and better and fulfilling the aim for it to be inclusive as well, is there anything that people watching could do to help that?
So we'd love to we'd love this to be kind of a fixture in people's calendars. So whether that be football teams, netball teams, dog walking groups, running groups, you know, whoever that is, let's just get everybody on board and come and have a go at it. Obviously sponsorship would be great, and I don't necessarily mean financially, but just businesses that would be happy to endorse it and talk about it and spread the word, and you know, not only the walk forward facing as a whole. So just make it a local event that people know is going to happen every year around the same time, and make it bigger and better every year with more and more people involved.
Yeah, so spreading the word and making connections to any kind of groups that would actually like to make it a part of their own organisation's calendars. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds great. And I know that you're speaking on Luke's behalf, but I wonder if you could talk a bit more behind the motivation for starting the walk, especially. You know, why the walk?
So I think from Luke's point of view, he, as I said before, he got forward facing. He understood what it was about, and he became quite passionate about it. He had done this walk previously, and there is a time when Luke had actually done Bognor to Brighton, Brighton to Bognor. So he'd done a 54-mile walk, which is just insane if you ask me, but he did that. And I think from Luke's point of view, it's very much, you know, it's something everybody can do together. And I think that's the incentive behind it. You know, there's a lot of fundraising events, which are all great and raise loads of money, but sometimes it's quite a niche market of people that can do it. Whereas this walk, everybody can take part in, and whether your challenge is 2.4 miles or your challenge is 28 miles, they're both the same, and they're all people conquering things and enjoying themselves and doing things, you know, that are a challenge to them. So it can involve everybody.
It sounds a lot of fun, as well as exhausting. It sounds a lot of fun. It's very much worthwhile.
Yeah.
I'm going to hand you over to Andy. Andy's been writing all of this down for us, and in super high quality with great internet, I'm sure he's going to tell us what he's got.
So no pressure then, really. Hello,
I can hear you.
Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for talking on behalf of Luke. And thank you for bringing what is really quite a nice, lovely little ambition. I'm hoping I've captured it okay. And actually, let me check. I'm hoping you can hear me okay as well.
I can hear you.
That little nod is very, very reassuring, I promise you. Oh, you should have joined us last week. We had so many problems from Adam's end. It's only fair that we had a little bit of difficulty here. I blame it on the gremlins. Right, let's have a little look. On behalf of Reptilers, lovely. Yeah, I've seen their vans going around, and I've had people sort of talk about, kind of what they brought along and how nice it is to do that contact with animals and to reptiles as well. Anyway, that's slightly besides the point. The ambition here is to make that annual walk grow.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a lovely sort of fundraising and awareness raising walk. 28 miles does strike me as a heck of a long journey. So doing it with people, I'm sure that sort of takes the time away from it. So you have that banter, you have the amusement and so on. And from what you've been telling us, that really does sound like a very fun group walk. So, and that, of course, helping raise awareness and bring the and bring some funds in. Now, when we come to the help you're asking for on behalf of Luke and Reptilers, is this lovely first very, very simple message of please join us. Come along. Definitely. And it sounds like a lovely thing to join in, especially because you've been mindful of people with physical disabilities and access needs. And that's great. So an accessible path to the journey as far as possible. And, clearly there's you delivering water as well. So, it looks like you guys are looking after. Looks like people will be looked after as well as being able to enjoy the journey.
Oh, we didn't just provide water. We provided lunch, any snack, lots of donuts.
Well, for a 28, I wonder how many miles you can get per donut. Anyway, and the idea of you guys walking through thunderstorm, and I mean, if that doesn't help people bond together.
Oh yeah.
And of course, you mentioned when Adam asked you about it, other help. Endorsing sponsors are very welcome. And, of course, sponsors as well. Of course, you're not going to say no to the money because, Facing Forward clearly uses it for fantastic things. And when Candice was talking about making the hampers really special with performers doing hoops and so on, I got to admit, I was beaming away with a fabulous grin. I love that idea. So there's the essence. That's what I've written down. Danny, have I missed anything or misunderstood anything?
No, I don't think so. I think you've captured it all pretty well. It's more about spreading the word and just even if it's just getting people out to cheer them on when they come and do it, or put some music on or whatever, just to
wave
make
some
it
flags
as exactly that.
In which case, what I'm going to do is see if the technology will allow me to swap cameras. Hi, nice to see
worked. You.
Here I am in front of the wall of ambitions, and let me just grab the ambition calling card I've scribed on your behalf, or rather on Luke's behalf. And plant it on the wall of ambitions. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend a moment explaining to people what this is, especially if you've just joined us. And we find that people come in and out as the evening goes. Thank you for joining us. It's lovely to see you. This is the Ambigo Wall of Ambitions. It's taller than I am, maybe sort of 5'8" or something. Actually, it's a bit taller than that, 7.5, 8 foot sort of thing. It's fairly wide, and it's a place where we invite people to put up what we call an ambition calling card. And I've just scribed one on behalf of Danny, on behalf of Luke. Now, this goes up on the wall. Now, normally, Danny, what happens is we invite people to just read them. And to read them at their own pace. We have a host of lovely volunteers, really lovely volunteers who get it, who will either leave people to read them, or if they want to, they'll happily tell people what it's all about. And we invite people, if they want to leave a few notes, hence the kind of post-it notes and the array of coloured pens. And sometimes people will just put up a word of encouragement. And we see those as well. Lovely things like, fab idea, keep going, stuff like that. Or occasionally we have somebody who knows somebody. For example, if you happen to be on top of a local business and you'd love to sponsor this, you'd love to get your branding associated with this, get some of that out there and help this happen, and also help spread the news about it, raise awareness through your shops or through your own newsletters or amongst your customers and clients, as well as connecting with this, then get in touch. Or if you know somebody like that, your husband, your wife, get them to get in touch. Danny, of course, occasionally we have people who love what you're doing and will want to learn from you or join you. And in this case, the invitation from Luke is definitely there. Get in touch, check out the thing. Remind you, what time of year does this normally happen?
So next year's is the 25th of July, and this year's was the second week in August. So
Lovely.
yeah, it's nice, it's sunny,
yeah,
all the beaches are busy, there's a good vibe. Yeah, it's brilliant, it's good fun.
It's like a mini parade. Okay, so if you happen to be part of a marching band and you want to offer your marching band for some of the journey just to lift the mood and so on.
That'd be great.
Yeah, then get in touch. Or if you're sitting on top of loads and loads of kit for silent disco, then get in touch as well. I don't know, offer anything.
Yeah.
So there's
brilliant.
the idea. And this is the magic of Ambigo, really. What we find, Annie, is that people make suggestions that sometimes we would have known about them. Sometimes it's ideas that we never would have thought of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's magic. That's wonderful. Someone comes along with a fabulous idea and kind of offers it up, and it just lifts everything. So if you're watching and you have some suggestions for Danny and for Luke, then get in touch. It's going to be wonderful. As I've been talking, Danny, has anything else occurred to you? Have you thought, actually, we would love, for example, more water providers, or people who can, if you run a local restaurant and you want to provide lunch or something, I don't know. Any
of that, yeah. We were lucky enough to get a venue to help us with lunch this year, but any water, snacks, people just coming out and cheering and chucking a couple of quid in the bucket, all of that sort of stuff. And this might just be my vision, but I quite like the vision of a steel band playing. That's just me.
Actually, it occurs to me because often schools, when they produce these bands for the May Children's Festival parade, don't they? Mm-hmm. So if you're on top of one of those bands in the school and you'd like to bring the band together for another event, offer it up. They may say brilliant. They may say no, thank you. Oh my God, we've heard you. No, I'm teasing. Or they may say absolutely fantastic, and that might be a way of really making this rock and growing this into an established yearly thing, which will say something very strong about raising awareness, I think, and that's the heart that I'm seeing here. Then thank you very much. What I'm going to do is ask Adam to join us again, and there he is, as if by magic. And Adam, what I'd like to do is invite you to let people know how they can get in touch with Danny and Luke via us. What are the best ways of doing so?
The best way, or one of the best ways, is to just simply leave a comment underneath the Facebook or YouTube video that you're watching, just like Candice has just done now, saying, love the steel band idea. Yeah. Okay. You might have started something here.
I went rogue with that one. I hadn't mentioned that before.
So that's one way. Then another way is that you'll see a link that's around this video somewhere. And if you click on that, you'll appear at the bottom of our screen, and then we'll be able to bring you in. You can have a chat with us yourself, and you can share your own ideas or support. Or the other way is to send a message on WhatsApp. So there's a number that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It will come back round again. And if you send a WhatsApp message to that, then we'll receive it and we'll be able to read it out and share it with Danny or whichever participant it's destined for. Okay, I think that's everything described there that we needed to. Thank you so much, Danny, for coming on and sharing that on Luke's behalf. Hopefully, if Luke watches this back, he'll give it a big thumbs up. We certainly do.
I hope so.
And we'll stay in touch because it sounds like a lot of fun. And I'm going to send Andy to do the whole 28 miles.
Great. We'll see you then.
Can I go to my car?
Oh, 1 second, 1 second.
Yes.
Candice, I just wondered, Candice, if there was anything you'd like to say while Danny was here.
I'd like to say Danny did Luke proud.
Oh,
Well,
brilliant.
Oh, thanks.
I couldn't have said it better ourselves, me and Luke. What you did was brilliant. Just to say, Luke is unbelievable, because last year he did the Brighton to Bognor and through the night, and then we met him in Bognor Pier at 8 o'clock in the morning after he'd walked all night, and then he walked all the way back. So he challenged himself. He actually really got quite damaged by that, and ended up with some problems with his back. But he is amazing for doing this and supporting forward facing by doing this walk, and he wants it to be bigger and better. Each year he would love more people to join him. So if there's any like walking groups that they do it anyway, so if they'd like to join us, Luke would absolutely love that. It's a big yearly passion of his that he wants to do this forward facing, and we're so lucky to have him.
Yeah.
And all his family, his children even did the walk.
They did.
Oh, wow.
What a great guy. It's a shame he couldn't join us this evening. I know he was trying to, but what a great stand-in he's had. Thank you very much, Danny.
Holiday and driving literally back. So that's why he couldn't make it. So Danny stood in quickly to cover him, because he's stuck on a motorway somewhere.
Yeah, okay. It's great that he wanted to come on, and I know he would have tried. But circumstances meant that we got Danny instead, and we're really happy about that. Okay, Danny, thank you so much. And we'll come back to you in a bit as well, Candice. And Andy, I just wanted to bring people up to speed with what's going on here, because we've had a whole new raft of people join us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all over the place. So what is this all about? This is the Brighton and Hove Hope Exchange. And what we do each week is we have people on from Brighton and Hove who share a personal goal, an idea, or an ambition that they have. And then we invite you watching to support them with whatever they need help with. So maybe you could offer some kind of information, contacts, advice that could support them a bit closer to what it is they want to do. And their ambition goes on to the Wall of Ambition.
This is kind of the hub of the Wall of Ambition part of what we do. And it's a little place where people get to fill in an ambition calling card, as we like to call them, with a quick note of what their ambition is, and maybe some of the help you might be able to do. And that help request can sometimes be very specific. I need a 12-inch bolt or something like that. Or it can be wonderfully generic, wonderfully fuzzy, like, actually, I have no idea how to start. Any ideas? And those are brilliant. We accept all of them. And it's a chance for people to have a little read and think about, what does that do for me? Can I offer any help? Can I make some words of encouragement? Or, my personal favorite, do I like that so much, I'd like to join in.
And we're going to be offering out the invitation for people to share their support for Maria next, and then Tim, who's already there. Hi, Tim, we can see you, so thanks for being there. But let's go to Maria now, who's been waiting patiently. Hello, Maria.
Hello. So,
well, thank you for being there. Especially, we thank everybody for being there, but especially you, because you've come on at such late notice. So we really appreciate that. Tell us all about what your goal is that you'd like to share this evening.
Okay, so my friend Nat was going to be talking in this slot, but unfortunately she's not been able to be here because her child's in hospital. Nat and I have got a lot in common. We both have children who are full-time wheelchair users, and we both have other children in our families too. And both of us feel very strongly about the impact on our families of the lack of wheelchair access in our communities. And it doesn't just impact our wheelchair using children, but it also impacts the whole family, and particularly the children who aren't wheelchair users, because what we can't do as a family means that they don't get to do it either, because we roll as a group. So so I've come here to talk about the importance of getting people on board with and understanding what it might be like to have a family member who uses a wheelchair, and about what people might be able to do to be more inclusive in the way that they operate, maybe in community, in their businesses, in places that families like mine might want to go to, but also in ways that people can support in terms of supporting when there's campaigns to get new facilities put in place or what have you, that that people might be able to think outside of their own families and support families like mine who need those additional facilities.
Could you talk to a bit more of your experiences around when organisations, businesses, shops, or even social activities that maybe friends have organised haven't taken into account how they need to be accessible and inclusive?
Sure. So I'm a mum of 3 young children. I have 10-year-old twins, one of whom has quadriplegic cerebral palsy and the other is able-bodied, and I have a 12-year-old daughter as well. And Tom's been using a wheelchair now, specifically a power chair, for the last 2 years, but has always been a full-time wheelchair user, has never been able to walk. So it's always been a very difficult thing for us to be included in things. And it goes from like the most kind of basic stuff, like not being able to get into people's houses because of steps. Obviously, when the children are younger, it's easier because you can kind of pick them up and lift them out of their wheelchairs, and that works for families until the children just get too heavy to do that, and then you kind of feel like you're being left behind. So going to the cinema, for instance, family of 5, you're only allowed to book 1 seat next to the wheelchair user, and the rest of the family have to sit elsewhere. Or you go to a cafe and there's a step at the door, so you can't actually get the wheelchair user inside the cafe. And quite often a lot of fuss is made about, making you feel like you're being unreasonable in asking for access, and that draws attention, which is embarrassing to the other children, because no, they don't want to be sort of stared at. I just want to operate as a average family, because that's what we are, really. I mean, I know it's unusual for other people to see families like ours, children in wheelchairs you don't see every day, but for us it's every day, and it will be every day of our lives. So it's it's just there are barriers in pretty much everything that we do outside of our house, and that, especially as the children are getting older, and Tom doesn't have, my son Tom is the child with cerebral palsy. He doesn't have a mindset of I shouldn't have the expectation to be able to do everything that everybody else does. In his mind, it's just it's becoming disappointing to him that he doesn't understand why things are always so difficult. So there are lots of people who have done some amazing things and made us feel very welcome, and there's lots that can be done kind of with minimal effort, really, but quite often those things aren't done. And it makes life difficult for us.
Well, Candice has just left a comment for us on Facebook saying Maria and her family are such a lovely family, and we're very lucky to know them, and has added for everybody watching, please support Maria and Nat in raising disability awareness. And that's key, isn't it? That's your overall ambition to, not just to raise awareness, but also to actually make change. It's all well and good being aware, but if no action is taken, then
there'll be people out there who are watching, who own businesses, who might not be aware how important it is to just be able to get into someone's cafe and choose a cake for yourself, rather than having to stay at the door and guess what might be inside. Just have that social experience of being able to sit with your family and have a chocolate milkshake and a cake because somebody's got a portable ramp that can be pulled out easy peasy, or you know, being able to support, like if a new playground is being developed in your area, you know, even if you don't know anyone in the area who uses a wheelchair, it's always worthwhile saying, you know, what's been done for the disabled children who might want to use this, you know, can we get some accessible equipment in, or you know, shops at Christmas time, total nightmare, because like the aisles get full of like extra stuff, and I mean, it's difficult enough for people with buggies, but when you've got wheelchair using child, and particularly now Tom's using a power chair, you know, just getting around places, you know, if you see a shop that's just got too much stuff out, you know, make a deal, or even, you know, just say, you know, have you thought about the impact of this on your customers? Things like I was talking to Nat earlier while she was on the way to the hospital, about beach access. You know, our children want to go down to the beach and experience making sandcastles. We were in Littlehampton a few weeks ago, and we had exactly that. We got to the beach, and there was no way of getting Tom on the beach because, you know, councils don't tend to put that provision in, you know, a long walkway that goes down to the beachfront so that wheelchair using children can join in making sandcastles with their siblings. So, you know, if you see a campaign that says, you know, support us getting beach wheelchairs, or support us getting ramp access down to the beachfront, get your name on it, you know, because it really makes a difference to families like ours, because, you know, it's normal life for us, and we just want to do what everybody else does. It's just that bit more difficult because children, you know, some of our children are on wheels. Yeah, so, you know, just basically just wanted to kind of put it out there that there's lots that you can do to support, and you know, the other thing about cafes, you know, a lot of cafe tables are the wrong height for a wheelchair user to get their knees underneath. You know, if cafe owners bought, there's sets of like 4 table leg raisers that you can just put under the legs of the table to raise it up a few inches, so that somebody who's using a wheelchair can get their legs under the table and eat in your establishment. Those are easy things to do. They cost like £20 or something, and they make a real difference.
Yeah, and making sure there's an accessible toilet as well. That's obviously something that's really huge with our events, because, you know, traditionally we put on in-person events and we always make sure that there's an accessible toilet. It can be so difficult sometimes to find venues that are suitable that have an accessible toilet for a wheelchair, which is such a shame, because there are some brilliant venues across the city and we just can't use them.
And there are some venues that have accessible toilets, and then they use those to store like the cleaning mop and the bits and pieces that they don't want out all the time. And so you go to use a facility that, you know, seemingly should be usable, and find that you have to make a big fuss about everything being taken out of it. And particularly for children who are complex needs wheelchair using children like mine and Nat's children, changing places toilets, which is a relatively new idea, where a very large bathroom area is created with a hoist, a lifting machine on the ceiling that enables the child to have a sling which they take with them, hooked up onto a machine that lifts them out of their wheelchair, and it can be moved across the room and down either onto a changing bench if the child has personal care needs that need to be met that way, or onto the toilet. Those bathrooms are becoming more prevalent slowly, and there's just been some legislation that's come in that all new larger high footfall public areas needs to have them when they're built. But again, if, you know, people see stuff about the Changing Places campaign, if they can put their signatures on things, or, you know, support that idea, it makes a world of difference, because my son will never be able to lift himself out of his wheelchair and transfer, and as he gets bigger, you know, it's only going to get more difficult for us. So there are lots of things that can be done.
Well, Beth, I think, has had similar experiences. She says there are so many places that are not accessible. We have been turned away from a nail salon, shops, and many other places, even a nail salon, you know, things that most people just wouldn't even consider would be an issue. But for a lot of people, there are obstacles preventing them from just living a normal life.
Absolutely, and that causes a sense inside of those people that they are not welcome, that they're not accepted, and that's a really damaging thing for people to feel. Life is hard enough anyway, and I don't want my son growing up feeling that people would rather that he didn't come in, because it's and we have money to spend. We have I have a budget for like children's activities and stuff, and I mean this summer has been particularly weird with the COVID situation, but ordinarily, we're looking for places to go and spend our money and things to do, and it's really difficult to find places where Tom's needs can be met and he can be included in things. And like I said before, sometimes it's a very small amount of effort that needs to be put in. Maybe like in children's play areas or leisure activities for children. Those kind of flat net swings where children that can't sit up or sit in a normal swing can be laid down. Those things can be used by able-bodied children as well. But just a little bit of thought into what have we got here that can be used for wheelchair using children.
And I wonder, just before we go to Andy, if you could just share an example of, a good example of somewhere that has gone out of their way to make sure that they are accessible and do provide what's needed to make sure that somebody in a wheelchair can have a comfortable and relaxed stay in their establishment.
I think one of them, always for me, finding a changing places toilet is like having a Christmas present. I mean, it's crazy because it's a toilet and nobody should get excited over toilets. But, I remember a couple of summers ago, we were on the road on our way to visit some friends. It was a long journey. We pulled in at a service station and I have a sense of anxiety because I know my son knows when he needs to use the toilet and he can use a toilet. But when he needs to go, I need to get him to a toilet that can be used. And he's 7.5 stone now, so it's difficult to lift. And we walked into a service station, and there was a changing places toilet in a service station. I nearly cried. It was just like we were all in shock, and we were all so excited. We were like, "Oh, let's go and have a look at it." And then you think inside, this is so wrong. I shouldn't be excited about a toilet. But those kinds of things. We've had lots of experiences of people being super, super kind and being really kind of like low key, not embarrassing and over, but just making small adjustments to make us feel very welcome. And that's always a lovely thing. And it's something that lots of people can do for families like ours. So,
yeah. Well, what you're saying resonates with a lot of people out there. Natasha's just got in touch saying, when I worked with disability and children in wheelchairs, it was so difficult to find places. All parks should have access for wheelchairs, for example, swings and things. And Beth has added as well, I think also training for staff to use appropriate vocabulary when talking about and to a person with additional needs as well. Very important. Thank you for those comments. And if you were gone.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, having said that, that's a really good point, actually, is I don't want people to be too scared of getting it wrong to not try, because to me, the most important thing is that people talk to my son. I mean, Tom is fully verbal and he communicates amazingly well, and it's always, people are always a bit shocked because they assume that he won't. But I love it when people talk to him, and I would much rather, like a child, say, what was wrong with your legs? Why are you in a wheelchair? Than to not engage with him. Because when I let Tom answer those questions himself. On his first day of school, somebody came up to him in the playground and said exactly that to him. Why are you not walking? And he said, I was bitten by a shark. And I just was wetting myself laughing, because I just, it's his story and he can tell it any way that he wanted. And all the kids thought he was really super cool. So, let your children ask the questions that they want to ask, and don't be too scared, even if you're not quite sure of the language. But yeah, if you can find out, the correct terms to use and not be offensive, that's always a really good thing.
Thank you. Well, let's keep that conversation going. And I'm going to hand you over to Andy, who's been scribing your ambition.
Okay.
Hello, Maria.
Hiya.
Hi, thank you very much for joining us. I've tried to do my best to capture your ambition. Well, yours and Nat's ambition, and
Yeah.
by the sounds of it, it's an ambition that's shared by many, many people.
Yeah, there's lots of us out there.
Yeah, and it's good to know, and thank you for bringing, kind of stepping up and sharing it through this platform. I know you're doing it through others as well, but, we're happy to kind of lend space for this. And what I need to do is just check that what I've written, well, makes sense and actually does summarize what you're saying, and that I haven't missed or misunderstood anything significant. So you okay if I just go through this?
Yeah, of course.
Great. Well, I've written that you want more wheelchair accessible pathways and access across the city. That was what I was writing to begin with, by raising awareness and understanding in businesses and public spaces. One of the examples you gave were playgrounds. And you said something that really struck home to me. So I've written in particular, so wheelchair users can do so with their families.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really struck home when you said, there's wheelchair accessible spaces and a space for one able-bodied carer to go with them. That is not a family outing.
No, and that's the case in theatres, cinemas, anywhere where there's wheelchair specific seats available, including the Amex Stadium, I have to say.
Yeah.
The wheelchair user can sit with one other person, and then the rest of the family have to sit elsewhere. And when you're a family with 3 children, 2 adults,
yes,
it leaves it leaves us as a family. We want to be together because that's who we are, and our kids aren't old enough to go and sit on their own.
No.
And my son needs 2 people to help lift him and adjust him in his seat and what have you, so it leaves us often quite torn about who should sit where, and nobody else is expected to do that. So
exactly. And when you think about how we mix with people, we'll have little conversations with one person and then a little conversation with someone else, and that's how a group bonds. So what you're saying here, what you're sharing here, I think is a fundamental part of raising that understanding. It's more than just meeting the physical needs, and clearly from what you're sharing with us, there's still quite a lot of work to do there, even though there have been some forward movement. It needs, if at all possible, to go further to allow people to be real whole people in
and
real whole families.
Social needs to be met. I mean, one of the things that I should have mentioned when I was asked about examples of inclusion, one of the absolutely outstanding achievements that we feel really proud of is that Tom and Iris, who are twins, so they have a real bond. They attend a mainstream cub group together, and there was never any suggestion that Tom wouldn't be welcome in the group. Even there's a lot of running around activities and craft activities that use, he would need to use his hands. He can't do any of those things on his own. We were allowed to pay for a supporter to be with him in the group, so to access his hands, and for him to just muck in. All the hikes that they do are wheelchair accessible, so that Tom can travel along in his power chair. He gets to join in, and that's for anybody out there who's got like a cub group or a scout group or rainbows or brownies. Think about how you might be able to make that accessible for a child who doesn't have the best mobility, because it can be done, and it can be done quite easily. Just needs a bit of thought.
So the idea of accessibility is also integrating, properly being a part of.
That's what it is inclusion.
Yeah, genuine inclusion. I've also put in brackets at the end, with minimal fuss if possible. Let's not have the spotlight on, and let's not have everyone staring. Then
it's not always necessary. I know it makes people feel good to feel like they're helping and stuff, but for the children, and especially my girls, because sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming to have everyone looking and stuff, because they can find that a bit difficult.
Yes, and it's hard not to read that as judgmental, even if people don't intend it to be. So in terms of the help you're asking for, really, I hope I've got this right. I've written, please get in touch so that this can be discussed and explored, because what I'm hearing is a great deal of lived experience, lived expertise that you and Nat and other people are sitting on top of, which I think would not only be vital and really useful to business and those in charge of public spaces, so that they can fill the disability, the DDA, the whole kind of disabled persons accessibility law, but also to make it really useful, to make it really the whole family enjoyable thing. And if that hasn't improved their profits, nothing will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very willing to assist anybody who has questions about what they can do. I'm not a legal expert, and obviously everything would need to be checked. But there's a number of us out there that would, be quite happy to review what plans might be, or to have a look at some photos of an establishment and say, have you thought of this, or
yes, exactly,
or what have you. I'm happy to do that.
But just sharing those stories of, Tom and integrating with his twin sister and the whole of your family, that really does bring it home. So anyone in charge of a business, not that I'm judgmental in any way, but I do commend this. It sounds like a lovely thing. And the second part of the help really is just building that upswell of everyone being aware. So if you are watching and you can see what Maria is sharing with us, and you find a petition to sign, as you've said, or you can be mindful and for your friends who are opening businesses, say, yeah, I've heard about this. Are you considering that? Are you making it more? As Adam, sorry, carry on. You're saying.
No, I was absolutely. And it might not touch you or your family, but it touches families like mine. I was just searching for a photo of Tom. I don't know whether anyone can see there. He's
not the best, but we can see something.
It's probably not very easy to see on the screen.
No, sadly.
Families like ours have dealt with a lot of adversity. We've had rough starts, we've had worries. A lot of us worry every day about the health of our children, and it there's lots of things that other people who don't have our experiences and don't have children like ours can do to just help move society forwards towards a point where things get easier for families like us. And that's what we want, is slightly easier life than we have currently.
Yes, where people like Tom can feel as normal and as included as everybody else. Maria, if it's okay, I'm going to swap cameras and put your put the ambition calling card that I've scribed for you on the wall. Are you okay for me to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go. It also means you get to see me. Hi, here I am.
Hi.
Yes, and here I am in front of the wall. So I'm going to take the ambition calling card, which I've written on your behalf, and plant it here on the wall. And for you who've just tuned in, and also because repetition is our friend, let me quickly explain what Maria and on behalf of Nat's ambition calling card is doing here. This is an invitation on our public wall, normally public, for people to just browse, to read these ambitions and enter a slow, intimate and friendly conversation. You get to read these at your own pace. And if you feel so inspired, you get to make a response. We get some lovely responses. Often people make a few words of encouragement because it resonates for them, like keep going, what a lovely idea, stuff like that. Occasionally, people know they have a contact that is exactly right. For example, if you happen to be in charge of the Disability Discrimination Act implementation in the local council, and there's Maria and Nat who can provide some fantastic information, and you want to get in touch, do so. We'll happily make that connection. Or if you're setting up a new business, or if you're opening up a new space or something like that, the insight these people are going to be able to give you and share with you, that must be worth something. So those kind of contacts, we love those. Sometimes we get tips and advice, and that's where some of the magic in Ambigo happens. So if you're listening to this particular ambition, or if we're out in the streets and people are reading this, and you think you have something that you can suggest, an idea that might not have occurred to Maria that will help this, then please also make that. There's a chance she already knows about it, but if she doesn't and it's useful, how good is that? And that's where some of the most fantastic things happen. And of course, my personal favorite, if you think you can come along and be a part of raising that awareness and getting this particular ambition to take place, then, get in touch again and we'll make those connections. And Maria, as I've been speaking, has anything else occurred to you that you'd like to be included in that card?
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, just to have, to put it out there, to have everybody have it in their minds that people's life experiences are different to their own. And actually, one of the things to mention is not just that children using wheelchairs, but parents can use wheelchairs too. And parents who have able-bodied children, they are completely blocked from providing a normal childhood for their children. So it's not just about children, it's about adults too.
It's about family, isn't it? It's about genuine inclusion. And inclusion is on both sides of that artificial wheelchair divide. So no, it's a lovely point, and I'm really glad to be helping raise awareness. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invite my friend and colleague Adam back in with us and ask him, probably within the little pocket of the Ambigo universe, one of the most important questions for the evening, which is, Adam, how can people get in touch so that they can be a part of this?
The easiest way to do it is to do what Natasha has done, saying raising awareness for this is so important, with a little kiss. We appreciate that. And the way she's done that is very simply by commenting underneath the video that you're watching now. So if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, literally just write a comment underneath the video, press enter, and we'll see it on the side of our screen and we can bring it in. And same goes for Beth, who sends a big love as well. A lot of people have been inspired by what, Maria, you've had to say this evening. The other way to get in touch, you can click on the link that you'll see around this video somewhere. Click on that and you'll appear at the bottom of our screen and we can bring you into the conversation yourself. Or you can send a message on WhatsApp. I'm keeping my eye on my WhatsApp, and we can read out any comments that you send there as well. People have been really connecting with what you've had to say, Maria, as well. So what we'll do as well is we'll write a social media post about your ambition, raising more awareness, get it further out there. So thank you so much for coming on. We'll be in touch as well if any support comes through. Oh, one sec, before I forget. Let's see if Candice has got anything to share, especially, after you came in at the last moment as well for us this evening. Hey, Candice.
Hiya. Maria, wow, Nat will be so proud of you stepping in. She's been messaging me from the hospital. So thank you so much for stepping in, and what you said was brilliant. I'd just like to say, so Maria taught me something. We did a DJ session, and Maria told me about the leg things, the leg, like a leg raiser, they cost very little. And for Tom, when he was doing the DJ mixing on this table, it would have been so much easier if we'd have had the leg raisers, but I never knew about them. So Maria told me something which we'll now obviously get, what, £30 or something would make a massive difference to Tom's experience. So it's just like learning, asking the questions, learning what would be good and, what would help. And then, like little ramps going into shops cost nothing. Very little. People could crowdfund if businesses can't afford to get it. Crowdfund, raise a couple of £100 to get a ramp that will make a shopping trip so much nicer. To be able to go in a shop when you can't go in a shop because of a step is awful. So just such a difference could be made by small little changes. And if people just think outside the box and think, okay, if I was in a wheelchair, how would I go around this shop? And some shops you can't. So make a little change, move a few things, and it will make a massive difference to people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if I may, even ask Tom to come in and inspect the shop and have a go, have a little practice, get his feedback. Yeah. He would probably tell you to not put the shark there and stuff like that. I
Yes.
don't know.
Yeah, and he always likes it when the Swedes are within reach.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, cool guy. Right, thanks so much, Candice. We'll be back with you to hear all about your ambition next as well after we've spoken to Tim. And like I say, Maria, we'll be in touch with any support that comes our way for you as well. And we'll
Thanks for
keep
having
on
me.
spreading the word. Thanks, Maria. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Candice. Okay, let's go straight to Tim. He's been
Yeah.
waiting an awful long time now. So let's bring in Tim, who
Hello.
is there. Hi, Tim.
Hello,
How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
I'm really good. Yeah, well, thanks so much for hanging on for such a long time. But I
No,
think you
fine.
quite enjoyed being there and listening to what Maria had to say, right?
Yeah, amazing lady, absolutely amazing. Yeah, it really is. I know Nat as well from football. So again, amazing lady,
Yeah.
and great children.
I'm not sure there aren't any people that aren't amazing involved with forward facing. That's the vibe I'm getting. Okay, tell us then, Tim, what is it that you'd like to share this evening?
Well, basically, I'm doing a sponsored walk tomorrow around the Wilmington Giant in East Sussex, a 12-mile walk. Basically, just to raise money for the facing.
The iconic place in Sussex. What's it called again? The Wilmington
Wilmington Giant, or the Long Man of Wilmington. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us what's inspired you to do this.
Well, it's just came to me really. I did a walk a couple of weeks ago up the Long Man, up his stave, and I thought, it was quite a challenge. It was hard work. So I thought, you know what, I'll do it. I want to do it again, but I thought I'd do it, and raise some money doing it.
Mm-hmm. And how's it gone so far?
Well, I've raised, I think, £1,000 already. In just a few weeks.
That's incredible. In just a few weeks.
I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I thought I might raise like £100 or £200, which is still brilliant. But £1,000, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. How does that feel to know that before you've even done it, you've raised that much money?
Well, yeah. Oh, it's amazing. I'm overwhelmed. There's pressure on me now to get it done, but I can't wait. I just can't wait.
Well, Candice is on it, and she's already put your Just Giving page as a link. So this is the fundraising page that people can go to support your walk and to raise funds for forward facing. Now, of course, you watching at home, we don't expect you to memorize all of these letters on the screen. But if you go to Ambigo's Facebook page, so wherever you're watching this video, if you click on Ambigo, go to Ambigo's Facebook page, you will see the link there that Candice has posted as a comment that you can click on. So that's the best thing to do. So yeah, Tim, am I right in thinking that this has been received so well that you'd actually quite like to do it again in future years? Absolutely.
Or other walks, absolutely. I'm overwhelmed by the support from all my friends on Facebook, and they're all Albion fans. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely amazing. I just can't wait to get it done. I can't wait. So I start at 11 o'clock tomorrow at the car park at Longman, and basically do a 6-mile route, then do it twice. So obviously that's over 12 miles. So that's 7 hours of walking, but I can't wait. I actually can't wait.
On the off chance that somebody watching wants to join you, how can they get in touch?
Well, I put on my page, I put the time and the place. So if anyone wants to come along, that's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. More the merrier.
Let me just share a comment or two because there's plenty coming through. Let's see. Let's have a look at this one here from Natasha, who says, another fabulous person is fundraising for us. Tim will be walking the Long Man at Wilmington on Saturday, 5th of September. That's tomorrow. So please show your support and help donate and all the hashtags. Thanks, Natasha.
Yeah.
And the reason why people have donated so much is because people believe in what Tim is doing, says Candice. And Beth as well has chipped in. I wish I could walk far, as I'd be helping if I could. Thank you, Beth. That's really nice. And Candy's just confirming the details that it's 11 o'clock at the Longman of Wilmington car park if you would like to join. So if you are looking to do more walks in the future and that's your ambition, how could people help you with that?
Just to believe in me, really. I mean, I've got autism, and well, I've had it all my life, obviously, and like, you know, I was sort of seen as being bad, really, as being just a bad behaviour, just a naughty kid, really, you know, because obviously I'm 38 now, and I grew up in a period where it wasn't really understood and recognised as a condition. And like, you know, I've not had the support, but now, you know, the support is amazing now for autistic people, and I just want to just basically help, really, to raise some money, obviously for people who are worse off than me, basically.
So people kind of discarded you as just being a naughty boy when you were young.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
How do you feel within yourself now? It seems like you're in a confident, good place.
Well, those last 4 years, I sort of embraced it now and accepted it as it's just part of who I am. It's part of me. It won't go away. I can't cure it, so I might as well just embrace it and be proud of it instead of being ashamed. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. You're great just the way you are, and everybody can see who's donated to you clearly. So, you know,
absolutely.
Go for it. Just do what you want to do. So in terms of future walks, it sounds like you want to make them bigger and better and get more people involved. Would it be helpful, for example, if people suggested routes and things like that you might like to do, or how might people help you to develop this?
Well, I got a route off an app on my phone called All Trails, and it's a recognised route. But there's only, like, you know, 6.2 miles, which is not really a challenge. I mean, I'll do better than that. So I thought the most, like, you know, the most practical route was to just do it twice, make it more of a challenge. So, you know, so 6 miles is not really a lot for me. I'm used to walking anyway. I walk all the time. I don't drive. I don't really use buses. So I'll just walk everywhere. Because I'm autistic, I find it easier to walk instead of being in crowds and on, like, you know, buses and stuff like that and trains. So I just tend to walk. I thought 6 miles, it's not really a lot for me. So I thought just do 12 instead. So
why is it important to you? Sorry. Go ahead. Carry on.
If I do a walk, the next walk I want to do just further and make it more advanced. I just raise more money, you know.
And why do you want to raise that money so much for forward facing?
Well, I've got friends. Obviously, Nat Ellis is a friend of mine. Natalie Banbury is also a friend of mine. Her son Ryan did a sponsored walk during the lockdown to raise money for COVID for forward facing. He's obviously he's autistic and has spina bifida. I have to be so inspired by him. He's a great young man, Ryan is, and just be inspired by him, really. You know, I thought, I could do something similar, you know, do the same thing, sort of thing.
And are you feeling prepared? Have you what's it called, carb loaded and all of that kind of thing to make sure your body's in fit physical shape? I don't know if you need it because you sound pretty healthy and fit anyway.
Well, I do smoke, unfortunately. But well, I've done like training walks every night. That's 7.5 mile training walks every night, but to get my legs sort of like that muscles loosened up a little bit. But yeah, I'm prepared. I can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. You know, it'll be hard. You know, I won't lie. I have blisters over my feet, but it's just worth doing. I think it's worth it. You know.
Well, we know it'll be hard because Candice has just mentioned. He's forgetting to tell you the walk is uphill and not easy.
No, it's I walked up the Longman, Windover Hill, and it's very steep, extremely steep. and almost killed me. But but I wasn't prepared at the time for doing it. But now I'm prepared. I've been walking every day for miles, really. Just sort of like calmly, but I'm prepared. I can't wait.
Well, there are lots of people who are looking forward to it. Candy's just saying, we're so excited about tomorrow as well. So
yeah,
thank you for also inspiring people. And let's see what Andy has written down for you over at the Wall of Ambitions.
Brilliant.
Tim, hi.
Andy.
Hey, thank you very much for joining us. It's really good to kind of hear from you.
Okay.
And I take on board what you're saying. You're coping with autism, and interestingly enough, people attach labels. You've had the experience of people attaching labels because they've not got to know you, and something about what you're coping with means that people don't necessarily read the real you. They kind of see it as surface you. So I'm honoured that you've joined us. I'm really glad that you've come and shared with us, and you're so welcome here, mate. Anyway, so what I'd like to do is just make sure that I've written, summarizes what you're sharing with us, and make sure I've not missed anything. Are you okay for me to go through this?
Yes, please.
Great. Okay, so you're doing a sponsored walk, and it's tomorrow. It is tomorrow, right. 5th of September. And it's 12 miles or 2 laps of 6 miles around the Wilmington Giant, or the Long Man of Wilmington. And I've been up there. It is uphill. It's actually quite a slog. So good luck to you, mate.
Thank you.
And it's on behalf of Forward Facing. So, thanks for bringing that in. Really, when it comes to the call for help, of course, if you watching this can sponsor Tim, please do. There's a link on our Facebook, links underneath to his Just Giving page. Don't feel pressured. We're not about asking people to give money. That's not the function of the Ambigo thing. But if you can, brilliant, please do. And also, if you'd like to get to know Tim a little bit better, and would like to give him a little more support, the time and the location is published. And Tim has said to share with us, come and join. The more, the merrier, which is what you said. Absolutely. So if it's a bit of a party, that'll be absolutely fine. Go along and do one loop, maybe. Go along and do the second loop with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome.
Or meet him at the top. I don't know. This is the thing that you very, very kindly shared with us. Now, as a person coping with autism, support and belief in him would be great.
Absolutely.
And this belief is slightly different. This is recognizing Tim for his true inner self rather than the assumptions we might make just because he looks a certain way or behaves a certain way. And this is so close to the heart of Ambigo. We want people to actually see people for who we really are, not bounce off the surface. Even though you are wearing a Seagulls t-shirt. Go Seagulls. Great. Tim, is there anything you'd like me to add to that sheet? Have I managed to capture it?
You have, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, Andy.
Fab. In which case, with your permission, I'm going to swap cameras. You've probably seen this there. Hey, hi.
Hello.
It's good to see you. And this is the Wall of Ambition. And I'm going to take the ambition calling card that you've allowed me to scribe on your behalf, and I get to place it on the wall. Now, the wall, Tim, as you've heard me say before, but I'm going to share it for those of you who just joined us. The wall normally goes out to public spaces with us. We delight in hanging around on street corners, maybe a new road, maybe East Park, or Camptown Carnival, or anywhere, some Freshers Fairs, wherever. And we invite people to do just as Tim has done, but normally to do it in a quiet way without people watching. Grab an ambition calling card. If you want to sit with one of our fantastic volunteers who are great listeners and will also help, if you want to ask nice questions like, well, when did you most enjoy? When did you lose a sense of yourself? And so on, in order to help come up with the best way of writing up a little ambition and possibly a request of help. Those requests of help, Tim, can be really, really broad, like, how do I start? I want to go to Mauritius. I have not the slightest clue of how to get there, or I'd like to do parachuting or whatever. And it doesn't matter. Any ambition, whether it's helping some others or very, very personal, is absolutely fine by us. Because what happens is we start a kind of slow, amiable, friendly conversation with people who just read these things. And as they read them, something might come up for them, which is why we have loads of post-its around. You should see the amount. This is just a tiny selection. Got boxes of them. It's brilliant. And more felt tips. There we are. More felt tips than you can imagine. Loads and loads of colours, because we love colours. And we invite people to just make a comment. It may be a few words of encouragement, like go Tim, you show them, or next year let's storm the castle or something, go to Pevensey Castle and back or something, I don't know. Or when people ask for specific help, then contacts can be really useful. People you know that I don't know. If you know somebody that I need and I've got no idea how to get in touch with them, that's invaluable. That's wonderful. Of course, Tim, for your particular one, there's no specific, unless you happen to know. If you happen to know someone who's incredibly wealthy who would love to sponsor Tim, could I give him a nudge? That'll do. But let's have that. Well, you can wish. And of course, tips and advice, they're brilliant. Not so much for yours, of course, unless of course, it's other things like other suggestions of what you can do to increase the way, how to raise awareness and so on. There may be some tips and advice that Tim already knows, like sending a press release to the fabulous people at the Argus or whatever, or getting in touch with latest TV's news desk and getting them to chat with him, whatever. Tips and advice that Tim might not know might be really useful. If not for tomorrow, then for next year, stuff like that. And of course, my personal favorite, Tim, folks who say, I'd like to join you. I'd like to share that with you. I think we're going to have a lot of fun doing that together. That's where friendships come from, and I'm all for making friendships. So there we go. Those are the sorts of things that happen around the wall, and to help people stay with us, sadly not now, the co-op, wonderful co-op, who sponsor a lot of what we do, occasionally would give us cupcakes and delicious nibbles and so on, to just keep people hanging around. Tim, as I've been speaking, has anything occurred to you that you'd like to add to that sheet?
No, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Well, it's a pleasure, really, to be able to put that up. And actually, it's a pleasure meeting you.
You too.
What I'm going to do is ask my friend and colleague Adam to come and join us again.
Okay.
And there he is, as if by magic. Because what we do in this part of the thing, just to remind people, and also for those who've joined us, to let you know how you can get in touch and not just support Tim, but also comment if you want on Natasha's or Danny's or Maria's ambitions. Adam, how could people do so?
Really good way to do it is just simply leave a comment underneath the Facebook or YouTube video that you're watching right now. If you're watching on Facebook, do make sure though that it is the Ambigo page that you're commenting under. Because if you're in a group and somebody comments on the video in a group, we won't see it. So make sure you click on the Ambigo and then comment underneath the video on the Ambigo page. Or you can click on the link that you'll see around the video and you'll join us here in the broadcast center and we'll be able to bring you in and have a chat with you. Or you can send a message on WhatsApp, and the number for that is about to scroll across the bottom of your screen. Okay, well, there's only one last thing for me to ask you, and that is, how do you feel about Glenn Murray going to Watford?
I'm gutted, really. I'm gutted. It's been a brilliant servant for the Albion, absolutely amazing servant, but it's his last season now. Well, I think it'll be his last season now. Gutted.
We should maybe fill in Andy and everybody else. Glenn Murray is a striker for Brighton and Hove Albion, who has just gone on loan for the season to Watford. I think he's 36 or 37, so he's done really well.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, I'd like to share this comment with you that's just come through from Nat here, who says, Tim, you made me cry mentioning my son Ryan. Kiss.
Yeah. So nice. Like Natalie and Ryan, amazing people, lovely people. Absolutely amazing. Honoured to know them.
and I think they would reciprocate that back as well. Candice, is there anything you'd like to say to Tim this evening?
I would just like to say, Tim, I am in awe of you. I can't believe in 2 weeks, normally people raise like, 50 quid, 100 quid.
No,
It's amazing.
could believe it.
I'm gobsmacked. So many people must believe in you and what you're doing. It's not people that I know that are donating. It's literally Tim's friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So proud of yourself.
Yeah, I feel a bit of pressure now, but
Don't feel any pressure. Do you know, if you can only go around once, it doesn't matter. I couldn't go round one bit of it, one tiny bit of it. So
I'm
whatever you
gonna do twice. Definitely doing twice now. I've got to now, not really.
Yeah.
No, I can do it. I can do it.
You can do it, but if you can't do it, it doesn't matter. Whatever you do is brilliant, and
Thank you.
we're all so proud of you.
Thank you for your help, Candice. Really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Well, best of luck for tomorrow, 11
Thank you very
o'clock.
much.
That's the time. So please, we'll stay in touch, and we wish you all the best. And hopefully, you'll do the two laps, as it were.
Yeah, I will. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Good stuff. Thanks a lot, Tim.
If I can. Thank you.
Cheers, Tim.
Bye.
Cheers, Tim. Okay. Hi, Candice. So
Hi.
what I'm going to do, Candice, is see if you've got a light you could turn on, because it looks like you're sat in the dark a bit at the moment.
It was like
So we've heard, Andy, from 4 participants so far, I think, and our 5th is going to be Candice herself.
Ooh.
And
okay.
because Candice has got a lot of goals and ambitions around forward facing, because they do so much and they want to do so much more. And thankfully, they're being empowered by people like Tim, who are going out of their way to fundraise, and Luke as well, who we heard about earlier. So let's concentrate on Candice now, Andy. So we'll come back to you in a little while, Andy. So Candice, it's your turn to shine now. What is the goal, idea, or ambition you'd like to share?
So, obviously, we're a small charity, and I'd love to say, can anyone support us? Can anyone fundraise for us? Can, anyone do anything to help us? But what's more important to me is raising awareness for this charity. So we can do such lovely things. We can, even with COVID, we're thinking outside the box, and there's been things like someone likes a footballer, so we try and get a footballer to send a message. There's all sorts of things that we can do, but people only know about us if they've been given a leaflet from somewhere or they have been told about us. So if there's one person that's watching that knows somebody who could be helped by us, who's a bereaved parent or a bereaved child, or a family living with cancer in their family, but they've got children that we could support, then if we can reach one person, then this has literally been a brilliant event for us. But I have got a little thing that I would like to just put out there. So basically, in my life of forward facing, the one thing that I cannot do is get a celebrity interested in our charity, in being a patron for our charity. So a lot of celebrities are patrons of a big charity because it gets them lots of awareness, and they're in the big charities, and and it looks really good, and it's brilliant. But we're a tiny little charity who, if we had one celebrity, one sports person, or anybody that could tweet about us, that could maybe send a message to a child that's really, really poorly, then that would just make a massive difference to us. there was about 4 years ago a little girl who was very poorly, and we were supporting her. And her family and friends did a massive event for us. They did literally a fundraising football day. It was unbelievable to raise funds for us. I was so touched. So I said to the little girl, I said, "What can I do to make you happy on that day?" So she went, "Can you get me a dog?" So I was like, her mum was behind, and she went, "No." And so I went, "Is there anything else?" So she went, "A celebrity." And I was like, "God, don't know any," but I thought I'll try and tweet or do something, but that never happened. And then she said, "Can he have a horse?" So in my head, in events in the past, we'd used a Shetland pony that had been in Big Brother. So basically, it'd been in the Big Brother house. So I thought, bingo, I can get a celebrity pony, a Shetland pony. I rang to book it on the day, and it was already booked, so I didn't get them anything. So it's we have arranged things in the past for like a celebrity to do something through friends of friends of friends of friends, and it makes such a difference to the children's lives. Talking about Glenn Murray, Izzy, whose mum Nat is not here today because Izzy was gone to hospital. Glenn Murray, I only have to mention his name, and literally Izzy's face lights up. And she also loves a women's footballer who's called Emily Simpkins, and they make me cry. Just the thought of you say that 1-2 names to her, and she smiles. Even if she's in pain, she smiles. It's so precious to see that. So I just would like to put a shout out to anybody, if anybody knows anybody in the local area, that they don't have to do a lot for us, just literally just to support us a little bit in doing some nice things for the kids. That would be magical. That would make such a difference to our charity. If we could arrange that in any way, because I just don't know how to do it. I've tried, I'm failing.
There have been so many comments coming through. I best go to some now, or else we'll never get round to it. Very simply, Nat, we love you, Candice, and a lot of people echoing that. How about this comment from Natasha? Candice, you are the most amazing person I know.
Oh.
But she's not finished there, because she goes on to say, you inspire so many people and help so many families in their hardest times. You work 24 hours a day, every day, without a day off, and you give everything up for forward facing, and we can't thank you enough.
Oh, she always makes me cry.
Well, let's see if we can push you to that now with Beth's comment as well. Candice is the nicest person I've ever met. She's helped so many of the young people I support. And then she says, getting taxi videos for Alf. I assume that means something to you.
So a little boy that we know and Beth cares for, he's mad on taxi cars, police cars and fire engines, and he literally loves them. So I approached Brighton and Hove taxis, and I can't believe what they did for us. They did like a 20-minute video of all the taxis, talking about their taxis, saying their taxi number, taking him around the car in a video. It was absolutely, they went above and beyond in what they did. I thought they'd just take a picture or something, and they did this unbelievable video, which made us all cry. And then the other day, I was pulling into a petrol station, and there was a fire engine next to me. And I literally was like, I got all like stomach churning. I was like, I can't do this. I can't be a daft woman going to a fire engine. But I did it. So I literally pulled up next to the fire engine. He was putting his petrol in, I was. And then I went, excuse me. I went, can you do, is there any way that you could do a little video for me? And then again, the community spirit was unbelievable, because this man, in 11 hours later, this fireman, did me a police video and a fire engine video for Alfie. So wow. I can't kindness of people. It's magical.
Yeah, I really could sit and listen to the different stories each day, because it really does touch you in the heart, doesn't it?
Yeah.
See, okay, well, let's get back to the ambition at hand. We've got to find a celebrity. Let's not just be kind of really non-specific. Let's shoot for the stars. Who would be the most ideal person to be a patron for Forward Facing?
Someone local. I don't even want to say anyone, because just anybody, anybody that can bring a smile to Forward Facing Children. That's all that me and the trustees, that's all we care about, is making these children happy. So anybody, obviously there's all the local, celebrities that, people know, and, anybody that could just give us a little bit of their time, by doing a video like the fire engine and the taxi people did. Little video like that to Forward Facing families would just brighten their days. We do this memory making day, and we did have, we were very, very lucky that a footballer called Rio Ferdinand came along too, and it literally changed the whole day. So literally people were he was lovely, absolutely lovely. And he just, met all the kids. It was just absolutely amazing. But it was a game changer for that event. It made the children so happy. Facebook was filled with pictures of him. We're very lucky that the Brighton players, we've had Bruno, who was the captain. He's come for, quite a few years. He comes, and he's so lovely. He gets on the stage and dances with the children, and he changes it. They make such a difference. It's so special.
And it's so nice to hear that actually, if you put the ask out there, people will respond because they want to help. I just wanted to share this comment as well from Ryan, who was mentioned earlier on, because it was Tim, wasn't it, who was saying how inspiring Ryan has been to him, and Ryan has got in touch saying, "Hi Candice, you are the best," with a heart as well.
Ryan is the best. Ryan is unbelievable. So Ryan is the whole reason why Tim was doing his walk, because Ryan did a walk over lockdown for us and raised us so much money. It was unbelievable. Ryan is inspirational.
Thank you, Ryan. And that's echoed as well by Natasha, who says, "Thank you, Ryan, for raising so much money for us." Okay. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to add? So we know we need people to help out in terms of celebrities, somebody who can bring a bit of star power to the events, to generate some more interest and to put smiles on the children's faces and the families' faces, and that's what it's all about. Is there anything else that you can think of that you want to get out there to the universe?
So what we're trying to do at the moment with COVID, we're having to be really careful. We can't do our big events anymore because we don't want to put any risk to anybody. So we're trying to do, so like over Christmas, we're going to do hampers. If a child's quite poorly at home or in hospital, we're trying to get people like the we've done fire shows outside people's houses. So any kind of local people like comedians or magicians, or anyone that could turn up at someone's doorstep and through a window do some juggling or something to make a child's life a little bit happier while they're going through something, and it might not be a poor child, it might be a bereaved child, it might be anyone who's going through anything, and they just need a little bit of happiness, and so we're always searching for entertainers and things like that to help us, and we're always looking for photographers. We do a lot of photo shoots. There's so many different things that we do. So when it's normal time, we do pamper days, and now we're doing online pamper events where we send makeup to people, and then we'll have a makeup artist doing a Zoom session with them. So we're trying to think out of the box and do things in a different way. than we used to for the foreseeable future. So any ideas that anyone's got, we're always welcome.
Yeah, there's so much there, and there are so many different possibilities, aren't there? And it's forcing us to be creative, this whole situation. Before I go over to Andy, I just want to throw in this comment from Natasha, because it sounds like a good idea. We would love to be Charity of the Year for some companies. So if you run a company or you're close to somebody who does, give them a nudge and say, hey, Forward Facing could be the charity for you this year. Sounds like a really good idea. Okay, let's go over to Andy, see how he's gotten on writing down your ambition.
Hi, Candice.
Hi,
Hello
Andy.
again, rather, Candice. And thank you for bringing in, this particular ambition. As you know, because you stayed with us all evening, my role here is to just run through with you what I've written up as a summary to make sure that I've kind of captured it okay, and that I haven't missed or misunderstood anything significant.
Yeah.
Are you okay for me to do that?
Of course, yeah.
Righto. So Forward Facing, as a small charity, would benefit from any and all help for sure. You said that. That's lovely. And there's some lovely examples in there. And in particular, letting people know how it is that Forward Facing can help by getting celebrity endorsement. And there's the one thing you candidly shared with us, the one thing that you feel you're really struggling with, which is getting those celebrities to do quite a small but incredibly powerful thing. So the call for help really is to all of you people, you lovely people who are watching now, who are watching on a repeat, to think about who do you know who knows somebody, or who do you know who is a celebrity, or if you happen to be a celebrity yourself and think, yeah, I'm actually quite happy to sign up as maybe a patron or maybe just a friend of, and to do those little things about tweeting about Forward Facing, or can I hear about some of the people that Forward Facing are working with, and be able to lend a little personal contact that is going to mean so much to people, then do definitely get in touch. And that's the call for help. Simple, really, dressed around, beautifully illustrated with some lovely stories about what you've been doing. Candice, have I captured that about right?
You've totally captured it. I once decided, right, I'm going to get a celebrity. That's it.
Yes.
I'm just going to pay for one. So
Yeah.
I looked on the internet and I looked and tried to find agents that you can book a celebrity. And it was literally like £3,000, £5,000 just to have one to come for an hour. And I was like, that's absolutely impossible for us. But I was that desperate because I knew the kids wanted it. I wanted to make it happen. Lookalike celebrities would be brilliant at one of our events, but we're allowed to do events. That would make
a nice idea.
To get, just to get a picture with someone, the kids, it just makes them so happy.
Exactly. And it's part of, really making them feel significant. It's weird the way the world is. Okay, with your permission then, Candice, what I'm going to do is swap cameras again.
Yep.
Allowing me to wave at you. There we go. Hi. It's good to see you again.
And you.
And to grab the ambition off of the little display area and plant it here on the wall of ambition. And as you know, Candice, because we've been talking about it all evening. Oh, if you just tuned in, let me explain what this is. This is the Ambigo Wall of Ambition. We're here with the wonderful Forward Facing, looking at people's ambitions, and we just put them up on this wall. Normally, this goes out with us, the public spaces, and you are invited to just gently browse to read these ambitions at your own pace. It's often, not always, often we have some fantastic nibbles from the amazing guys at the co-ops and so on, cupcakes and crisps and whatever, and that just helps people kind of hang around. And we leave loads of post-its around and massive amounts of coloured pens so that you can get involved in a nice, slow, friendly, intimate conversation with any one or many of these ambitions. And that's how this works, really. leave a comment, something like an encouraging word or two, or if you have a bit of a tip, an advice, some thoughts that you have that has come up because what you're reading resonates, you know, it sounds like something somewhere you've been, and you might be able to make a suggestion. That's wonderful. There's a chance that Candice knows what you're talking about, but there's always a chance that it's new to her or new to us. And that's where the magic is. You know, something we never would have thought of that you have thought of because you are you. And that's a wonderful thing to share. Contacts are really useful. And if you happen, rumor has it, Candice, that Kate Blanchett lives in Brighton. She has a place in the city, according to the Jolly Explorer. Kate, who is a regular viewer of this show, I wish, if you happen to be her neighbour, or you happen to know her, or you know her agent, or you know somebody who might know her agent or her direct and can make that little nudge. I mean, you know, what a fantastic organisation just to endorse. And I'm sure, well, I don't know, I don't want to speak for you, Candice, but if Kate Blanchett wants to get involved, I don't think you'd say no. Of course, you know, if you can think you can help or want to be a part of this, that's a wonderful thing there. So, you know, getting the word out and making those connections, that's part of the magic here. And apparently, according to those studies, which occasionally we've heard of, there's only 6 steps that separate or connect the whole world. So someone who might know someone, if you're prepared to give it 5-10 minutes and think, yeah, actually, I know somebody who might know somebody, then who would probably be happy to get involved in this way, then, you know, more power to their elbow. Come and join us. Come and join Candice and the fabulous people that she's doing. So that's really what this wall is about and how it works. And this show is going to, well, it's a show really. This show stays online and we'll have people come in from time to time and view it for quite a while after this. So, you know, the message will continue to go out there. And Adam, as I'm sure he'll say, who will share with us, will be more than happy to spread it through our other networks as well. And in fact, as we've been speaking, your separate conversation about thinking outside the box for ways of COVID safely bringing something special and exciting, unusual, heartwarming to the people you work with. You know, we've done shows in the past with wonderful people who have been involved in performance and so on. So, for example, Jack, if you happen to be watching, he sits on top of Cabaret Laboratory, which is Brighton's only, as far as I know, open mic cabaret event. And he knows magicians and jugglers and dancers and so on. Jack, if you happen to be watching, you know, kind of find out more about this. This probably be right up your street. I think you'd love it, mate. Anyway, so those sorts of connections. And if you happen to know somebody who happens to be on top of that sort of network or connections and so on, who can do something like, I don't know, get dancing horses outside the front of some little boy or little girl's house and just put a little smile on their face and take them outside of that pain or bereavement or whatever, then, you know, get in touch. As I've been speaking, Candice, has anything else occurred to you that you'd like us to make sure is on this calling card?
Just the most important thing that matters to all of us is if anybody knows anyone that needs a little bit of joy and happiness into, you know, coming into their lives, who's going through you know, bereavement, a disability, or, you know, a life-limiting illness, then please get in touch with us, because we can, you know, we can hopefully give you some smiles and make some memories.
Yeah, yes, so it's a fabulous call. Very, very happy to extend that call out. And if you hear that call from us, really sort of on behalf of making a little more space for facing forward, then you'll probably want to know how to get in touch. And this is where I ask my friend and colleague Adam to join us again, to do the magic that he does, because he eloquently explains to people in the smoothest possible way how it is that they can join us and maybe get involved.
Well, if you do want to get in touch with us now while we're still live, you've got to do it right now, this second. You can't wait. because we've reached the conclusion of today's event. So just comment quickly on Facebook or YouTube if there's anything you'd like to say, and we'll see it on the side of our screens and we'll be able to share it. Otherwise, if you're not watching this live, then you can still leave a comment and we'll still see it, and we'll still be able to pass it on to Candice and everybody else who might need to see it. So do that. And also, if you want to send a message on WhatsApp, that's fine too. The number's just disappeared off the bottom of the screen, but it'll come back around again. So if you want to send a message on WhatsApp, do so, and we'll pass it on to whoever it supports. So thank you so much. I just wanted to also let people know how they can find out more about Forward Facing as well, because you just put a call out there for people to get in touch if the kind of things that you specialise in helping affects them. So forwardfacing.co.uk is where you can find out more. Is there any other kind of link or anything like that you'd like me to share, Candice?
We have so Twitter and Instagram, Forward Facing UK.
Brilliant.
Forward Facing UK. So that's at Forward Facing UK, is it?
That's Instagram and Twitter, yeah.
Okay. And it looks like that.
Yeah.
Well done. Top job.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, all of these comments appear on the social media as well. So if you're watching at home, you go, want to find out more, I've missed it now. Don't worry. If you go to wherever you're watching this video, if you go to the comments underneath it, then you will find all of these as comments. So then you can actually click on the links that we're sharing here on the screen. Okay. I feel a bit sad actually that we've come to the end of this event, because it's been a lot of fun from the very start of starting to organise it with you, Candice. It's been something I've been really looking forward to, and it hasn't disappointed at all. So thank you so much. It's been a privilege to do something in collaboration with Forward Facing, and we're really excited to see what develops and what happens next, and especially with all these fundraising wonders going on as well.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you. This has been really fun and brilliant for all our amazing forward-facing people to be able to speak about what they're going through and what they're doing. And I feel very privileged that you got in touch with me and gave us this opportunity. So thank you so much.
It's very kind. It's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Lovely. Well, we'll be back again next week, won't we, Andy, for another one. So please do join us again. Keep an eye out on our Facebook page, especially. That's the best place to keep up to date with what's going on with us. So that's I'll do a little app thing for us as well. So if you go to facebook.com/weareambigo. So you might already be watching this through Facebook. So just click on Ambigo and then click like. But if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter or wherever else, then just go to facebook.com/weareambigo and you'll find us. Same on Twitter. Okie doke. Right, that's us done for another week, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you again, Candice. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.